Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 28th, I think. Yes, 28th, January 28th. All right, so we are on lesson 8 today in module 3. And before we get started with our lesson video today, we're going to watch the vocabulary video with some of our new vocabulary words. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with that. Okay, here we go.
Hello, second grade friends, and welcome back to Grade 2, Module 3, Vocabulary. I'm Mrs. Mowell, and today we're practicing vocabulary for Focusing Question Arc 2. Let's begin. Our first word is speech. Let's say speech. By looking at the icon, I can see somebody standing with a microphone in front of them, and I'm guessing that they're going to talk to somebody. Let's read the definition. The definition of speech is a talk given in front of a group of people. I've seen people give speeches before, and this is what it looks like. The icon can help us remember the word speech. Now, let's listen to the word and definition in Spanish.
Discurso significa una charla que se da frente a un grupo de personas.
Let's practice reading the word speech in a sentence. Please feel free to listen as I read or read along with me. The principal stood on stage and gave a speech to the parents about school. Now you try. Thank you for practicing reading. Our next word is equality. Let's say equality. By looking at the icon, I can see the equal sign, and one side is the same as the other side. They're equal. Let's read the definition. The definition for equality is a state of having the same value, measure, or quantity as something else. Let's listen to this word and definition in Spanish.
Igualdad significa el estado de tener el mismo valor, medida o cantidad que otra cosa.
Now, let's practice reading the word equality in a sentence. Again, you can listen to me read or you can read along with me. Racial equality was an important part of the civil rights movement. Now, you try reading this on your own. Thank you for practicing your reading. Our last word is freedom. By looking at the icon, I can see somebody in chains, and they were able to break their chains. Let's read the definition. The definition for freedom is the right to act and speak, or speak as one wants. Now, let's listen to the word and definition in Spanish.
Libertad significa el derecho a actuar y hablar, o bien a hablar de la forma en la que uno quiera.
Fantastic. Let's practice reading the word freedom in a sentence. Again, you can listen to me read or read along with me. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted freedom for all children. Now you try. Thanks again for practicing your reading. For this practice, I want you to practice this vocabulary with your learning partner or somebody nearby. I'll ask a question and please answer in a complete sentence. In his I Have a Dream speech, what freedoms did Martin Luther King want for all people of color? Martin Luther King Jr. wanted all people of color to have the freedom to blank. Pause the video now and talk to your learning partner using the sentence frame. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted all people of color to have freedom to blank. With my learning partner, he shared, Martin Luther King Jr. wanted all people of color to have the freedom to be judged not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I wish I could hear how you answered it. I hope you said something similar. To review, here are the 3 words we practiced today. Let's say them each one more time. Speech.
Speech.
Equality.
Equality.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Please remember to use these words as much as you can in writing and speaking. Thank you for learning with me today, and thank you for doing great things and using great vocabulary. We'll see you next time.
Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and get started on our lesson for today. We're on day 8. For those of you that did not notice yesterday, you have a question set to do today. You also had a question set for yesterday. So make sure you get both of those done, but please don't do question set 3 until after today's video lesson because it's about today's lesson, okay? And you have a new fluency that will be due on Tuesday, February 2nd, all right? So make sure you start working on that today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on our video for today. Make sure you have your knowledge and response journal ready because we are going to do 2 pages in your journal today.
Welcome back, incredible thinkers. I'm Sue Savelli, your Great Minds teacher. Let's see what we need for today. Today you'll need your journal and a pencil. So please pause here to grab what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue. Songs and images can provide us with so much information, really interesting information. We either have to listen closely or look closely if it's an image, but we can find the meaning hidden inside. Today, we're going to take a closer look at music and images and the information that we're learning from them. This question will guide our thinking as we look at all different kinds of texts today. Read the question to yourself, pause here to do that now, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue.
So the question is, what is happening in this text?
What is happening in this text? Let's begin with some music. I'm going to play the song 2 times. The first time, I just want you to listen to the song and even move to the song. Ready? Here we go.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love my rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills, my heart with rapture thrills like that above. Let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees, sweet freedom's song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, the sound prolong. Our fathers, God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King.
Now that you've had a chance to listen to the song and even move to the song, it's such a great song. This time, I want you to be a very careful listener. And I want you to think about the questions that are popping into your mind as you listen to the words in the song. Ready? Here we go.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love my rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills, my heart with rapture thrills like that above. Let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees, sweet freedom's song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, the sound prolong. Our fathers, God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King.
One of your questions might have been, what is the name of this song? The name of this song is America. Sometimes people say the name of the song is My Country, 'Tis of Thee, because that's how the song begins. This song probably sounded familiar to you. You may have heard it at school or maybe even a ball game. This song is a patriotic song, and it was written very long ago in the early 1800s. I wish I could hear all the questions that you have. I bet you have great questions, especially about the words in the song. There's so much to wonder about as we listen to the musician. Pause here to take a stretch break and just hit play when you're ready to continue. I'd like you to look closely at the title of this book, I Have a Dream, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now I'd like you to look at just the first word in the title, the word I. When we notice the word I, we notice that this word starts the title. The dream belongs to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is the person speaking in this book and in this speech. Whenever we see the word I in a title or in a text, that can help us think about the point of view of the writer or the character in a text. What is the point of view? If you've heard this term before, pause here to tell your learning partner about point of view. Just hit play when you're ready to continue. Point of view is a way of thinking about or looking at something. When someone writes using the word I, he or she is writing from his or her own point of view. They are speaking for themselves rather than telling what someone else thinks. When the word I is used in a text, like it is in I Have a Dream, this is called first-person point of view. Different texts in this module are told through different points of view. We're going to keep a chart to help us think about the words that signal to us or tell us the point of view of the writer. We'll begin our chart with first-person point of view key words. Which word do you use over and over again when you're talking to someone about something that happens to you? Pause here to tell your learning partner or to teach Jackson, and just hit play when you're ready to continue. Whenever we're talking or writing about ourselves, we often use the word I. I is the first person point of view key word, and that's why we're adding it to our chart here. Please pause here to grab your journal and a pencil and just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so in your journal, we are on page 112 today. Okay, so we are going to make the chart just like Miss Sabella did. Okay, so you're going to put today's date on the top. Remember, we're on page 112. And we are going to write the title of the chart, the point of view chart. This is our first person point of view keywords, which means they are words to talk about something that happens to me. And we are going to be adding words to this throughout Module 3. So don't take up the whole page with the word I, okay? So I'm going to leave this right here. I want you to pause the screen and copy this down on page 112. And then when you're done, just hit play. And I also am uploading a picture of it for you to copy as well. All right, so let's get back to our video.
We're going to be creating a chart that has 3 columns, so please turn your journal on its side. You'll set up your journal with 3 columns. The left-hand column is titled C, And this is where we notice when we look closely at a photograph. The middle column is to jot down what you think, and the last column is where you'll put your wonder questions.
So before we do this, let's go back. Okay, so now we're going to be on page 113, and we are going to make that chart just like Miss Sabella showed you. I want you to write your words on top of the red line. If you look, there's a red line across the page when you turn your book sideways. Write the words on top, separate your columns, and draw a line across the bottom of the words, okay? So make sure it looks just like this. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the video and we're going to look at that picture.
See, think, and wonder as we look closely at this photograph. When I look closely at this photograph, I see people marching together. I'm going to jot down what I notice in the first column on the left side. Now I'm going to think. And this is different from when we notice and wonder. We're actually taking time to think about what we are noticing, and we're connecting it together. Since I noticed or I saw that people were marching together, that makes me think that all of these people are going somewhere together. Now that I've had a chance to look closely, to notice, and to think about what I notice, now I can jot down the questions that I have about what I'm noticing and what I'm thinking. A wonder question I have is, where are they going? I'm so curious about that. When we look closely, think about what we're seeing and ask questions about what we're seeing. We're analyzing this photograph just like an historian would. Now it's your turn. Begin by drawing a line to create a new row. This way, you can capture what you see and notice, your thinking, and the question that you're wondering about. Pause here to jot down what you see, what you think, and what you wonder about as you look closely or analyze this historical photograph. Just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so I want you to take a few minutes, pause the video, look at the photograph, and do what Miss Sabella says. I want you to notice things, tell me what you think about what you notice, and tell me a wonder, and then hit play when you're ready. Okay, so while you guys were working, I was working also. I was looking at the photograph and I came up with two. I know that you were only asked to do one, but I came up with two things. For my notice, I said, it looks like it's going to storm. And that made me think that it might be dangerous for them to be walking out in that field in the storm. But then I also wondered, what are they doing in that field? And why is it so important that they would be out in the dangerous weather? And then my second one is, there are a lot of people and they're mostly Black people, which made me think that it must be a civil rights march. But then my question was, how will this march help end segregation? So those were my two. And you're going to show me a picture of your notice, think, and wonder today. Can't wait to see what you guys wrote. All right, so let's get back to our video.
You're growing more independent every single day. Today, you had the chance to connect what you were noticing or seeing to what you were thinking. And then you were able to take those powerful thoughts, and those thoughts can help you generate questions that will make you dig even deeper into images and text. You are growing so much, and I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to continue to learn and grow with you next time. I will see you soon, my friends.
Okay, so that's the end of today's lesson. But I want to share something with you guys that you have not had the opportunity to hear yet. If you were in the classroom, we would have listened to this yesterday when we introduced the book, I Have a Dream. But for some reason, we're not doing it yet. But I want you guys to go ahead and hear it. So I am going to pause my recording for just a second so that I can pull it up. And then we are going to listen to part of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. Okay, I found it. Now I need to share my screen. This is about a 7-minute video, so just sit back and have yourself a listen.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. Exalted. And every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when we capitalize, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
I think it's the best.
Get that commercial off of there. So that obviously was not the whole message, because remember, he spoke for 16 minutes and 20 seconds, but that was the most important parts of the book. And when we look at the entire book, hold on one second, I gotta get this off the screen somehow. Okay, so when we look at the whole book, you will notice that the most parts of the speech that we just listened to is also in the book. So I'm going to show you the book. Here we go. Okay, so here is the book, I Have a Dream, and this is part of Dr. King's speech. This is the Lincoln Memorial right here, where he's going to be standing like up here somewhere. All right, so here we go. I say to you today, my friends, that even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Okay, so that is the book that shows Dr. King's words, and you probably heard a lot of that in the video. So that is all that I've got for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed the book, and I will see you guys later for phonics. Bye.